Hello there, Eagles fans. Merry Christmas and welcome back to our Eagles Therapy Podcast. My name is Basil.
And I'm Baz.
And we are recording Christmas night, Monday, December 25th, 2023, a couple of hours after the Eagles defeated the New York Giants at home to bring themselves up to finally 11 wins on the season. Dad, overall, how are we feeling right now?
I'm feeling great. I mean, during the game, we had some tense moments, which we didn't really want, but I'm feeling great. I'm very happy we won the game. The Giants haven't beat us at home since, 2013?
Wow.
We had a bunch of young players in there that played really well, which was really encouraging. A few blown plays, some real goofball plays, but hey, man, we won the game that we needed to win. It was pretty handily in the first half.
Yeah.
And deep down, I think we all knew that we were going to win the game, but
yeah,
could we just not have, my nails are short as it is, there's just a couple plays. Could we just clean that up and just go? But no, I feel great. It was wonderful.
Good.
Great to win a game. It's going to be nice to watch some highlights a little bit later tonight when I'm sitting on the couch. So, yeah.
For sure. Yeah, as always, we'll talk about the Eagles and Giants game, give a little recap, give some MVP thoughts on the game, under the radar plays, talk about just some other stuff down the line that we're kind of confused about, but we'll go ahead and jump into it. As always, we want to plug the club. We are a part of the Philadelphia Eagles fan club in Colorado Springs. That is the page name on Facebook. If you live in the area and you're an Eagles fan, please go and join it. They will let you in, ask you a few questions and everything like that. If you want to come join us for an Eagles game, please come down to Frankie's on Powers and Galley here in Colorado Springs. We'd love to see you there. Did you check out the official account today?
Yes, I believe it was in the 27 range.
Okay, 27, yeah.
But you know what? The thing about it is, we knew the diehard fans would be there, which was great.
Yeah.
And, not everybody has big families and everything like that.
Yeah.
So, like, one of the persons there talked to me, said, I said, hey, what are you doing here by yourself? He said, well, my roommate went out, so I'm coming down here to watch the game. I said, well, that's good. And and we had a great time. And it was
20,
nice. And
27 for a holiday, like Christmas. That's pretty impressed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was barely any cars on the road when we drove down and then barely any on the way home. So
that's true.
It's just one of those days. Hopefully we don't have a Christmas Day game for another 10, 12 years.
I don't like it.
No, it was awful. I mean,
sure.
I really would have rather stayed home just to hang out. But, I had to go down. We had to go down. And it was fun. We got to enjoy it. And,
it was
scored
stressful.
some TDs. We scored some TDs.
It was stressful and not fun, but it was also fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And we won.
And before we jump into it, we do want to give a huge shout out to our friend of the podcast, Mike Roman, a big fan who goes to Frankie's for every game that he can get to. He bought a present for the podcast. As you can see, our new centerpiece behind us. Nice signed Vince Papale jersey.
Authenticated
and everything. And he also sent us the frame so that we could frame the jersey and everything like that. And it's going to be our centerpiece, hopefully, for many years to come.
That's right.
But,
That's right.
It's just amazing to look at. It's really cool. I think it brings the room together even more.
Oh, for sure.
It's really nice. We've been building this room for a while now.
Yeah, but it brought some class to the
Absolutely, yeah.
Definitely. It's beautiful. I mean, we had a blast putting it in the frame and hanging it up. And
it was awesome.
Yeah, we're pretty proud. Yeah. We're pretty proud of that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Thank you very much, Mike. We really appreciate it.
Thank you much, Mike.
A great
Merry
present.
Christmas to you.
Merry
and
Christmas
yours.
to you. Yep, absolutely. And one other person, my mom, his wife, of course. My mom bought us these shirts and these pants. We're both wearing matching Eagles jammies after the victory. So got on our little pajamas tonight and having a nice warm episode here in the house with the signed jersey. So thank you, everyone. But thank you to my mom and thanks to Mike Roman, of course, for that. But let's go ahead and jump into it, Dad. So the Eagles defeated the Giants in Lincoln Financial Field 33-25. Give me an overview on the offense. How did you think it went?
I thought it went well. We started that we ran the ball. It was nice to see Gainwell get some balls out there. He ran a bunch. He what I say 6 for 41. But it seemed like every one of his runs was big. It was early in the game. And then Swifty, of course, at the end he had some big ones. It's still not crazy with some of the offensive calls, but that's for another day. We won. We had a win. Hurts was really, really awesome. I thought he was on target. We're usually trying not to be negative here sometimes, and we are, but we kind of dig on our players a little bit. But A.J. Brown found his groove. Smith had that beautiful touchdown early that made the game look like we were going to win it, blowing away. But,
I know.
Hey, man, this is the way it is this year.
Yeah.
We're not going to blow out anybody.
I think you're right.
Just keep winning. Just win these next two, baby.
I think that's something notable that we have to take note of going forward these next two games and into the playoffs. We are not going to beat a team via blowout at all.
No.
It is going to come down to close games. Unfortunately, Eagles fans, we're going to have to be stressed out every time. We're going to have to deal with probably bad calls at the ends of games with the referees, but it just feels like it's not going to be easy. We're going to be in tough games fighting for our lives every game for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it was funny at the bar tonight with the group. There seemed to be, when we scored and when certain things, we had that delay. Everybody kind of bought into that situation.
Yeah,
wait a second. Wait
till there's a flag.
Is there a flag? I didn't see a flag. There's no yellow
go.
on the field. Okay, touchdown. Let's cheer.
Yeah.
So, and that's a good thing because, it's funny because through my lifetime, that's all every time we scored a touchdown in the old days, I would stop. I taught him this at a young age.
Yeah.
And then, we had some really successful years, 2017 and even last season.
Yeah.
We didn't even think about it. Like, oh, it's a touchdown. We got it. But for some reason, it's turned against us. I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to say any officiating or anything. It's just, it has turned against us. So nothing's coming easy the rest of the season.
Every season has a different aura to it. There are seasons where you're like, man, all the calls are going our ways. All the bounces of the balls are going our ways. The turnovers, they're falling into our lap when it gets slapped.
That's right.
It happens. And then there's seasons like this season where it just feels like it's just nothing is on our side. But let me talk about the offense real quick. I thought Hurts looked pretty good early on. I thought it took a pretty bad dip with that pick six. I know there's a few people you could blame on that. Some people say Hurts threw it bad. Goddard did fall down, slipped a little bit, so you could say that. But in the end, I kind of do blame, alongside my dad, the play caller there. I don't think that was the right play call at that time. I don't know. I can't get into this too much. But overall, I thought Hurts played well. I thought the receivers all played well. The thing I love the most is I think Hurts threw the ball to 8 different people. Now, 7 different people got a catch. There were 7 people that had a catch. I think he targeted OZ one time, so I think he targeted 8 people, which is unheard of. And that's the thing that's always bothered me. I watched the Niners game, the Dallas games, the Baltimore games, the other teams that are good. And what's the biggest thing about them? They throw the ball to this guy, then they throw the ball to that guy, then they hand it off to this guy, then they hand it off to him again, then they throw it to that guy. Then they throw it to this guy.
And then they say at the end of the first quarter, he's thrown to 15 different receivers.
And you're like, no wonder the team's good.
Yeah.
It's not about having great players. It's about making do with what you have.
Right.
And I just never understand.
And targeting.
Throw it to that guy.
Yes.
Where's that guy? Get Covey out there. I'm not saying he needs to make 12 catches, but just bring something else into it.
It was a fresh play. It was a new look. Oh my goodness gracious. Who's got that guy?
Yeah.
The 3 of us have A.J. Brown. Who's got him?
Yeah.
I mean, you need to have that. I mean, Calcaterra, I know you were talking about that earlier, stepped up. He had that one on that amazing broken play, almost scored a touchdown, which really would have been awesome.
Well, we always say, you don't always get a lot of opportunities, but when you do get them, you need to be able there to make them. You need to be able to make the best of your opportunity. And Calcaterra did that today with that great catch. And that was a great play by Jalen to roll out of the pocket and hit him. Let me just say that. Threw a crossbody. But
when he's running to that side of the field, it's normally not anything happening good, but at the time it did.
I mean, anytime he leaves the pocket, I don't think anything good's going to happen, really. I don't think it's a specific side. But I thought Hurts played well. I thought the receivers played well. I thought the running game was great. I thought the offensive line was phenomenal.
Yeah, the line, it seemed to me, I mean, they played really, really well, but it seemed like we were under constant duress. I don't know if it was an extra rusher or whatever, but and I know we had talked about this too as well. There was a few plays that when the Giants were coming in, the middle of the field, and I'm talking from hash mark to hash mark, was wide open. If we can't develop either a quick running back pass over them, like a middle, not a screen, but an over the pass where they kind of pull it with McCaffrey. You see him, he's blitzing straight down the field, hit him over the middle because my middle of the field was wide open.
We did not use the middle of the field at all. And I'm sorry, we did use it. We used it twice.
Yeah.
Devontae touchdown.
Beautiful.
And then A.J. Brown, 25, 26-yard catch, I believe. 32-yard catch.
Yeah.
When he cut back and went out.
Beautiful.
We didn't use the middle of the field enough. We need to use it
Yeah.
more. It's just a bummer.
I'm surprised they don't use Goddard in that fashion. It's usually with him, it's a down and out.
Yes.
Or a quick
He's
off
usually
the line.
running outside.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, the middle of the field, let's use it.
Yeah.
Because we seem to run the ball that way, kind of off tackle, but at the same time, it's always open. And in that game, I mean, I'm looking at it from my seat. I'm not getting pictures from upstairs at the stadium. I'm in my seat and I can see, Baz, it's wide open.
No.
Use it. Exploit it.
But other than that, I thought the running backs also played well. Total average, we had 4.9 yards a carry as an overall team. So I thought that was pretty good on the offensive side with running the ball. Defensively, Dad, what do you have?
Again, we were when they came in the second half of the game, it seemed like they were running every time. When they brought Tyrod Taylor in, he wasn't throwing the ball at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
At first,
and they're getting Saquon's getting 4 or 5 yards a chunk, and my linebackers are 5, 10, 7 yards off the line of scrimmage. Could you cheat them up?
Yeah.
I understand we got to cover some guys, but they didn't seem to be bent on throwing the ball, but they're running it all over us. Not all over us, but 7 yards, and we did stop them several times, but bring them up. Like the one time Reddick made the play, we finally brought up guys up. They couldn't block everyone. Reddick made a nice 3-yard tackle behind the line of scrimmage on a fourth down.
Yep.
That was frustrating to me. I know we get Matt Patricia. I did notice that there were some more stunts. The one thing I'm really disappointed in is Sweat is just not. He's not boxing his end.
It's a bummer.
He's letting early on Tommy DeVito was running outside of him, and he kept cutting inside instead of kind of keeping him outside. If you can bottle Tommy DeVito and Tyrod Taylor, you're going to get sacks, you're going to get interceptions, you're going to get everything.
Yeah.
You can't let those guys outside. Now, Tyrod had a few rushes. I believe he only ran twice. And they were big, ones up the middle because we did have him contained. And it looked like it was going to go down all the night, but he only had 2 rushes.
2 for 21.
Yeah, so, right. But it just seemed like early on, the defense, it's just not learning. It's not listening. They had some stunts, so Patricia's doing something. But I do want to say the positive for me was Keely Ringo.
Yes.
Some of the Ben Van Sumeren, who's a linebacker.
Yep.
But a lot of our young kids, again, just played great.
I think so. I agree.
I mean, they had some bad plays. That the long touchdown was probably not ever should have happened ever. But
that was pathetic.
It did. But
so, as a defense for me, I have to point out and agree with you on the Josh Sweat thing. The regression is cause for concern.
Yeah,
he hasn't had a sack in 7 or 8 games, I think now.
Yeah.
I think it's 8. It's just a bummer. I don't know as far as pressures. I know early in the season he was second in pressures in the league behind Micah Parsons at one point. And,
right.
And, it's like, the sacks will come, but they haven't.
No.
I feel like against the run game, he also hasn't been good. I just say the regression is cause for concern.
Yeah.
And lastly, let me say this about the defense. The defensive line as a whole, I said it last week, it's not good. It's not good at all. It's not great. It's not good. It's above average. It's a bummer because we have all those names there.
Right.
The Carters, the Davis, the Cox,
yeah.
Graham, the Reddick and Sweat. We have so many names there that it's like, man, Milton Williams was playing well at one point. All these names that you're like, they're really good. It's really not. It's overrated and it's just not good. Yeah. It's average.
They're not getting home.
They're not getting home.
Yeah.
They're not stopping the run when I know at one point, and let me just say, I guess they did only end up averaging, they averaged 4 yards a carry.
Right.
Saquon averaged 3.5. So, 23 rushes for 80 yards. That's pretty good for the defensive line. But
it is.
Overall, it just feels like the last few games, at least the last 5 or 6, it's just not. It's not good.
Well, the
it's
biggest
not
problem
as
I
good
had,
as we thought or wanted it to be. It's just not.
The biggest problem I had tonight was they ran the ball when everybody in the entire state of Pennsylvania knew they were running the ball.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't throw the ball. Tommy DeVito went out of the game, 7 for 19, 7 for 16 for 55 yards in the first half? Something like that, right?
9 for 16, 55.
Yeah, so that's in the whole entire first half. So then to come out, we know what happened in the second half, which was awful. But, still, they couldn't throw the ball, so they pull him, they put in Tyrod. He really didn't throw the ball until he had that big touchdown.
Yeah,
other than that,
until he had to throw the ball, yeah.
We didn't have time to do all the math, but he still only had, maybe 50 yards the rest of the game, other than the 900-yard touchdown he threw. Awful. But anyway, I am happy to see, Keith Ringo, and I'm going to go through a lot of those different names. They all played, and they all played. First of all, I can just say they played. We were talking earlier about the way this season has gone with the penalties and the things like that. But really, the biggest thing is injuries. It seems like every week we have to make it up for another injury. We had 2 linebackers not play tonight that had been playing the whole season.
Yep.
Thankfully, Shaq Leonard played really well.
Played
out of his mind.
Finally, he played well. God.
I was
atrocious his first 2 games
expecting
with us.
the middle of the field to be wide open, and it really wasn't. And what's his name? Brown had a great game. He had a dumb late hit, but
horrible.
Somebody's got to.
I appreciate his
maybe decaf, maybe something.
I appreciate his desire to play, and and his passion and heart and heat. But
Yeah.
one of these older guys needs to come in, because this wasn't just this week. Last week he had some late hits that should have been called. He had some questionable
out of
hits
bounds.
out of bounds.
Yes.
And I know, he's a young guy, but and I appreciate his passion, I do, but one of those guys, the older guys, needs to go, hey man, like you do have to be smart. You can't just be, let's play with a full will. No, like you gotta, because that was stupid. He should have been ejected. I'm surprised he wasn't.
And actually in that play, they had a holding call, which would have put him back another 10 yards, and we needed the ball as much as we did this game. That was kind of earlier in the game, but still, you can't do that. You can't be. Now, what if we had got an interception, or what if we had got a fumble?
Yeah, you get swept away.
And now you got a late hit like that, which is just not necessary.
Yeah.
He's down. He was sliding.
Yeah. So overall, as a defense, I thought, we do have to remember this. They scored 25 points. One was from a pick six. So that's 8 points, really, because I think they went for the 2-point conversion. And then also
one was
the fumble. They got the ball at the 14-yard line.
Yes.
So you can blame it on the defense, but in the end, not really as much.
Yeah.
It felt a lot like I do have to say, this game felt a lot like the Dolphins game, but not as dominant, because they did end up scoring that big play at the end. But, with the Dolphins game, the defense played really well, except for maybe one or two plays.
Right. The touchdown went for half the hill.
Yeah. And
the pick six.
And then the pick six, so a pick six, a fumble that let them get the field goal with the Dolphins, it felt like a very similar game for the defense. I thought they played really well.
Yeah.
Except for a few plays.
But in a game that you're supposed to win big, you take away the points that we gave them, and it's a 33-10 game, which is what I expected.
Yeah.
Again, it's over. We're on to the next week.
Yeah.
We finally have an 11 o'clock game or 1 o'clock game back east
finally
on Sunday. No holidays, no night game. So hopefully that helps us out, and we have a nice 2-0 stretch here in the next week.
Okay, and going over to special teams, it's a bummer because early on, the special teams felt like it was about to be a great game for them.
Finally.
Covey had a 54-yard punt return, then a few plays later, which set up a touchdown.
It was beautiful.
And then he had an 11-yard punt return, which 11 yards isn't much, but it was a great play, heads up. It made
would have rolled another 20 yards the other way.
No, it made it a net gain of 15 yards for the Giants. He just did a great job on those two plays, and they both led to touchdown drives.
Yeah.
So it felt like early on the special teams was going to be a big part of the game. And then the second half started, and what might be, we'll have to make a list one day of one of the top 10 worst Eagles plays of all time.
Yeah.
I would say, I'm going top 10 worst Eagles plays of all time.
Okay.
For sure. I think it's absolutely in that. That's a game loser. I have to say.
Did you say 10?
Yeah.
Okay. I could probably come up with 20 or 30, but
yeah, but it's in the top 10.
I got you. Yeah, it was.
It's a bummer, but it just sucked because early on it was like, the special teams, it's still good. It's still going well. Covey's, man, he's great. And then the special teams gets a D because of that fumble. That was abhorrent. The worst timing for that.
Yeah.
I know we were up 20-3, but let me just point out this. Before the half, Hurts didn't run out of bounds. I know everyone knows. Everyone knows. Right. It's been on Twitter. It's been everywhere. He didn't run out of He didn't run out of bounds. If he had ran out of bounds, we would have had 12, probably 11 seconds.
Yeah,
which gives you an extra play. Instead, he went down in bounds. 4 seconds left.
Right.
Thank God they had a penalty for us to kick a 3-point.
Which was boneheaded on the Giants' half. He's just touching the ball.
Which
a penalty.
Luckily we got 3 points.
Luckily.
But it's just that was horrible. And I was furious because I'm like, we should really just go for it at this point. It's 17-3. Just go for it.
Yeah.
We didn't go for it. We kicked the field goal. Okay, cool. And everyone was kind of like, we're getting the ball at the end of the half. That's why we got that field goal. And it's like, that makes sense. Except we didn't get the ball coming out of the half. Because we fumbled on the first freaking play.
Yeah, like I said, that 3-point was disappointing until the fumble. And then you go, thank God we kicked that field goal.
Yeah.
I know you were upset about it, but I wanted 7 as well, but it doesn't always work out that way. But, I felt like I did with the, okay, it's a 2-for-1. We're going to get the ball. We're going to drive down the field. We're going to score again, even if we got 3 at that point.
Yeah.
But but to fumble it at the 15 and your own guy makes the fumble. It was just boneheaded.
Disappointing. Just a bummer. Hopefully we never see anything like that ever again.
Yeah.
But just really bad to see. Anything else on the game, Dad, specifically that you have to say? I just have to point out one thing. I will say it's part of my confusion that I have later on, but a lot of people have been trying to defend Hurts these last few weeks. It's been a lot about Hurts and this, and there's people who are there's 2 extreme sides to it. One of them is saying Hurts is we should trade him. Shut up, stop. Bench him, whatever. He's Wentz, whatever. Then there's another side that's like, it's fine, it's not his fault, it's never his fault, yada yada yada. And I am on the side more so that blames the play calling more than I blame him.
Right.
But I just have to say, the regression is cause for concern.
Well, let's just say there is regression.
Yes. And I believe that there is major cause for concern. Now, I'm not saying we need to do anything about it. I'm not saying, oh, it's time to move on. No, stop.
Right.
We're not. There's no.
Right.
But I do have to say it's major cause for concern. That interception was bad. I know there's, Goddard fell.
Yeah, he did. He slipped.
I understand. There's different ways to choose this, but there is cause for concern in the sense of he's not seeing the field the right way.
Yes.
He's not making the right decisions.
No.
He didn't run out of bounds.
Right.
I know people make mistakes, but this year it's not like it's, people make mistakes sometimes.
Yeah.
He's making mistakes 4 to 5 times a game.
In that particular play you're talking about, there was 3 guys on there wearing the white
10-yard
shirts
line, yep.
that are going to tackle you inbounds when you have no timeouts left. You need at least 3 points because you always got to score before half, regardless. That's one of our things. You have to do that, and we didn't. And then the interception, right? The interception, pick six. Well, we know the play or the 2 plays before that. He threw into double coverage and should have been intercepted.
Yeah,
right?
No, the play before.
Okay, it was the play before.
Okay.
Yes,
it almost
because we weren't even over that one yet.
Yeah, he almost threw a pick the play before, and then the next play threw a pick six.
Right.
I'm not saying we need to do anything. Like I said, I'm not saying we gotta do it. No. But it's just it is major cause for concern to me. This regression, from last season to this season, it's bad. Please make note, it's bad.
Hopefully, it's a learning curve. Like you say, even in the game tonight when we had that one pass to the left side, and then right in the middle of the field, wide open, it was missed.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. You were talking earlier. I just saw the words tush push on my screen. It's funny. You were talking earlier about the penalties and everything and going this way and this way or whatever. Every game there's a different feel. But I'm at the point now where I'm like, they line up to the tush push and I don't trust it because there's gonna be a penalty.
Right.
They might call a false start. They'll call an offsides on us. They'll call an illegal formation on us. Like it's a little bit worrisome. I know that guy was offsides, but
it just looks to me like, and I think the trend is, when you got things that are trending, the trending to me feels that they're going to outlaw that play by next season.
Feels like it.
And I think when I think we had to do the push once tonight. We did it a few times on third down.
We did it twice.
But my thing is, if it's 1st and goal at the 1, let's just do a running back play.
Yeah.
Get under center, quit this shotgun stuff. And this is another problem I have with the whole offense is the shotgun 95% of the time. Let's get the quarterback under center. We've been saying that for a while now, too.
It's rare, I know. I was going to ask how our selected players played. Mine was Hurts, so I kind of already touched on that. Do you remember who you chose last week?
I believe it was Devontae Swift.
Yeah.
I believe it was him. So he did a good game.
He played a great game. Yeah, he did really good.
He got
20 for 92.
92.
4.6 average,
he needed
touchdown.
He needed 104 to get 1,000 for the season. And then, of course, we ruined that because towards the end of the game, he
lost some yards.
He lost 2 yards on one play on second down and then like 5 yards on 3.
Yeah.
Which meant the field goal was a 43-yarder when it should even be closer. But at the same time, I'd rather us not have to kick the field goal and just run the clock out. But we didn't do that either. But
nope.
I don't know, conservative at the time, but
I thought Swift played well. I thought it was a bummer that his knee did touchdown.
That was close.
I know it's hard because it's one of those. That's one of those things where because they didn't call it on the field, you kind of like them to keep it the way it is.
Right.
I do believe his knee touchdown. I don't believe there was substantial evidence to overturn it.
I think his knee grazed it
I think it did.
But again, we were talking earlier about calls and things like that. Forget it. We're not getting that call. We should automatically go, just line up, guys.
Yep.
Just get together and start another play because you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that play.
Yeah.
You're not.
That's why that was one of the ones we didn't.
We're not crying. We didn't
do the chant on it.
That's right.
One of the ones during the game.
Yes,
we saw it and we went in and we all kind of went.
Just wait.
I think he's down. But
I mean, it's
feels
not
like
we're not crying. It's just
no. Why are you?
We're not going to get the call.
It's
that way right now. That's the way it's trending.
It's how it is every season. There's teams every season. You feel like they get the calls.
The darlings.
Earlier, I saw on 4th and 1, the Niners got a call.
Right,
they're still playing right now. On 4th and 1, they got the call, and on this one, they got the call. Yeah,
right.
It's back and forth. The Ravens got a call too.
Yes.
Ravens are up 30-12 right now.
Is that 30? I thought
That's 30-12.
Okay, 30. Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Wow.
Surprised.
So we missed something.
And Flowers caught a touchdown.
Nice.
That means
Very good.
I'm going to the championship in fantasy, everybody.
That away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shout out to Joey.
Excellent.
I just beat him in fantasy. I don't even have the numbers up, but
Yeah.
I needed
Well,
Zay.
he was getting a lot of catches.
I needed Zay to get 16, and right now I believe he has 22.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So
let's go, baby.
yeah, that's good.
Going to the championships again.
That's nice to
back
see.
years. But real quick, sorry, Dad. Who's
No,
your
no.
Who's your MVP of the game? I think Swift, right?
I would say Swift. I think
Yeah.
I changed it a few times, but yeah, he was definitely.
That's good though, man.
Yeah,
I think that's the first time one of our chosen players was the MVP.
That's true.
Good
I mean,
job.
yeah.
You're on a run now.
Well, hey, that's good. It's a good time of year for that.
Yeah.
And I also feel good that Gainwell got involved, and I think
Yes.
actually he had 79 total yards, I believe.
Yes. So
And you need that. You can't just have one guy, man. That's the way to do
He had
it.
6 carries for 41. That's a 6.8 average,
But
a
he had-
22 for a long. And receiving wise, he had 3 for 38.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
pretty darn
13
good.
yards a carry.
Yeah.
Catch.
I think it is important that they mix and match them more, and that's what I said about the Niners. The Dallas, they do this. They go
Yes.
this guy. They go this guy. They go
Yeah.
this guy. Here's the third string running back. Here's the second
Right.
string running back. Here's
Right.
the 12th string wide receiver.
Yeah.
Bet you didn't see him coming.
Yeah, but
Hey,
he's
throw
been on
it
the
in.
roster. Let's use him.
Let's go.
Yeah.
My MVP is Jake Elliott. I couldn't really choose that. It was kind of
Yeah.
hard for me to choose an MVP. I thought Hurts was on his way to it until the pick 6. Again, I know it could be someone else's fault. I don't know.
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
But I'm going Jake Elliott. He was 7 for 7 on his kicks,
That's
4 for
incredible.
4 on field goal, 3 for 3 extra point, along with 44. So we didn't make him kick any super long ones tonight. But
Yeah.
I love this guy. It's just great.
He's
There was also a time where it felt like Britton Covey was on his way to being.
Yeah, it's a shame that
MVP,
he had 2 big ones. Well, that was one of the biggest things was an early start for us, a good start, and then he has that big punt return and we're at the 13-yard line.
Yeah.
And we scored, I don't know, 3 plays later.
Oh yeah,
And
two
a
plays there.
touchdown.
Yeah.
Not a field goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got some under the radar. If you want to let me jump on that, real
Sure,
quick.
go ahead.
Under the radar plays, or
I got one, too.
We like to say under the nest plays, plays that may not be shout out or as big of as notable to anybody else. This is a big one in the second quarter with 12 minutes 52 seconds left. Olamide Zaccheaus had a block for the Devontae Smith touchdown.
Beautiful.
Devontae Smith, I believe, a 36-yard touchdown.
Okay.
And Olamide Zaccheaus flattened a boy
Yes.
in the end zone. It was great. He just got on him at the 10 and ran him in the end zone.
And it looked like the guy grabbed OZ.
Yeah.
And brought him down on top of
He
him. But
took him
he took
down.
him out of the play. It was beautiful.
It is a bummer to bring him up because later on he also had a great play where he forced a fumble on Boston Scott, helping the New York Giants.
Yeah.
So little hard to point that one out, but he did have an amazing block on that play. It was a bummer because before this game, the question was who's the number 3 wide receiver? Julio Jones, Quez Watkins, Olamide Zaccheaus. There's really none. There's really no number 3.
No.
There's just the top 2 guys, our top tight end, and then a bunch of ragtag boys put together.
So how many did Jones have? Just one catch, right?
1 catch for 6, yeah.
Yeah.
1 for 5,
And
sorry.
then Covey had 1 for 7, I believe.
Yeah, maybe Covey's the next guy.
But still, it's a good play.
But for me,
How about Quez? What did he?
Nothing, yeah. But for
No
me,
catches.
Zaccheaus, I was hoping would be kind of establishing himself. He's the 3rd guy, and then he did that fumble. And I know that was on special teams, so you can't really, you don't want to subtract him or mark him down because of the play on special teams, but it is a bummer because it just was a really bad look.
Yeah.
On defense, 1st and 10 with 14 minutes, 53 seconds in the second quarter. They had a pass to Wan'Dale Robinson out to the left, and Nolan Smith ran out and just caked him, demolished him.
Yes.
Good play to see from Nolan Smith. Still a rookie we talk about.
Good instincts.
He's getting more play time, and he's making more of an impact and more of an effect on the game. So it's really nice to see. What was the one you had?
That was OZ, so that was the one I was thinking of. I didn't know you had that written down, but the block. I mean, that's one of those plays that, the focus is on the wide receiver going into the end zone, but the block downfield was beautiful.
It's funny because I was cheering for the block more than the touchdown.
Like
when we all stood up,
gorgeous.
I looked at you and I was like, "What a block!"
Yeah, did you see that? Yeah, that's awesome.
That's an offensive lineman talking right there. But
and then the Smith play. I mean, there was the one was the little one looked. I think it was a running play too, where Barkley was running and didn't see him, and Smith came in and flattened him from the side as well.
Oh, okay,
I
yeah,
think so, right? When that was a running play too, I think. So
yeah,
Smith made some plays tonight, which was exciting to see.
definitely.
Again, I don't know how many plays. We don't know the snap
Yeah,
count.
the snap count doesn't come out till tomorrow.
But
It's always
you
a
know, he
bummer.
needs to make a few plays so that he gets on the radar and they start using him a little bit. So,
Yeah.
but no, it was good. Very exciting win. Kind of made the Christmas a lot that much better.
Yes,
After
absolutely.
yesterday and then today, it's wonderful. Now we just need to go 2-0 here the next two games, and let's win the NFC East, which would be
Please,
just beautiful.
It's kind of the only
Break
thing.
that streak, the 20-year streak that's going on out there.
It's kind of the only thing I'm looking forward to now because after a game like this,
Yeah.
I know anything can happen, and
Yeah.
people have been pointing out.
It's not over.
6 years ago, we beat the Raiders on a Christmas Day game in Oakland.
Right.
Was it in Oakland?
I believe it might. No, I might have been in Philly because it was real cold.
Okay, gotcha.
Remember, it was really cold.
Yeah. Barnett had a walk-off touchdown
That was
at the end of
nice.
the game. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, not a walk-off. We'd already won the game, but still,
Yeah.
though, in 2017, so yeah, 6 years ago, we beat the Raiders in a kind of sloppy game. The offense was bad. We had a touchdown on the first drive, and I don't think we scored
That
again.
was bad.
Stuff like that. So people have been comparing this year to that sense, and the end of the season we weren't doing really well, and it does show you that when you get to the end, when you get to the postseason, things change. And it's like that's true. So it is notable. You do want to try to remember that, but it's hard for me to be very optimistic right now for this season as far as how this game went. The last three went, especially not even the last three. The last one, the Seahawks won. I don't want to talk about it, but
Yeah.
it's hard to be optimistic. So
When you don't know how
Just
to
give
put
me-
a team
just-
away,
yeah,
when you have a
at
shot
all.
and you don't know how to do it,
but
that's
just,
something you learn. And we learned last week we don't have that.
yeah. Well, we can't put teams away.
Even tonight.
You could go all the way back to Minnesota game,
Yeah.
the Patriots game, the first
Yeah.
the first game of the season. We
Yeah.
just don't put teams away for some reason. We did it to the Dolphins. We put them away.
We did.
We never did it to another team.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm stressed. I'm worried. But more than anything, just give me my division championship.
Right.
Let's hang a banner.
Let's get the
Let me
banner.
let me get a shirt. I'll get a 2023 division champ shirt.
That's right.
I'll be happy with that.
And we'll
for
roll
now.
the dice and take our chances.
That's what I'm happy with.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
we still have 2 more weeks.
Yeah.
To get some more time with these guys that we hope are going to be the future players. And, maybe some of the guys that have been down, maybe Maddox come back, whatever.
Yeah.
But, it's just every week you can't really win consistently when you're playing with different guys every week. You just can't do it.
The defense,
Offense obviously is pretty settled.
Yeah, the offense is settled.
But-
We've lost some guards here and there. We
Yeah.
lost Cam for a few games. Landon for this game.
Right.
Johnson, we lost a few times.
Cam was great this game,
He
too.
was great.
Man, he was nailing some guys.
I should have pointed out that play. I don't know
Yeah.
when it happened. I think it was
Yes.
fourth quarter to run out the game, and he just grabbed a guy and
Yeah.
just threw him like a child. It was-
Yeah, Swift kind of got in behind him. Same with,
yeah.
I think Mulata.
Milata had one earlier.
Was it kind of in the way? Almost ran into him, but then
Yeah.
he got around him. But
Yeah.
Mulata had flattened somebody too, and it was
Yeah.
just beautiful to see. But maybe that's what they need. It's kind of hard. Maybe they hit a funk in the middle of the season. It happens, but it was good to see some of that tonight.
Yeah.
Really would have been nice not to give him any points, and we would have had a nice 33-10 maybe ish game. So
Yeah. As far as fantasy studs and duds, usually we have like the 3 studs and a dud. We just kind of have studs all across the board. I mean, our team
Yeah.
had a pretty good lineup as far
I
as
got a dud for you though.
Okay, but Jalen had 23 points in fantasy. Swift, I believe, had touchdown and
Yes, he
90
did.
yards, so he had 15 points for a running back. You take that.
Right.
Wide receiver wise, I think AJ got me like 14. Devontae probably got. I mean, he had a touchdown and
He had 79 yards receiving.
Yeah, so he had 17 points. So that's
Yeah.
pretty darn
Yeah.
good. And then even Goddard, he got me 14.1, did pretty good. So not really
Yeah, I remember you were
duds.
afraid of Goddard, but he made some catches.
Yeah,
so.
not really any duds on the Eagles' offense. But what were you thinking?
The dud was Tommy DeVito. I'm sure somebody in New York started him.
That's true.
And,
I wonder,
he was what?
Yeah.
55 yards passing, maybe 10 yards rushing.
Yeah, he only had 9 completions for 55 yards.
Yeah, he was.
and 1 rush for 5 yards. So
Okay, he was only had the 1 yard show.
If you go off of the way that we do our points, it's 0.04 per passing yard. So
Right.
25 is 1 point. So he'd get 2 points for
Right.
that, 2.1 for that, and then 5 yards. So 2.6 total points for him.
So that's good.
So there's
Yes,
your dud.
and I'm sure he had been last week. He had a bad game too, but Yeah, they pulled him out of the game. It wasn't an injury. We'd heard some injury stuff.
No, not at
he
all.
was
He
not
was benched.
injured. He just was benched, which
Yeah.
surprised me because I kind of looked up where's he at. He's the darling of the city.
Yeah.
What's his name? Aaron Judge, I think, was buying his lunch or something in a restaurant the other night, or I read something about that in a diner or something. Anyway,
it's funny. It's nice because I don't want to be that Philly, jerk, but he kind of was talking, saying some stuff about Eagles fans. Well, everybody hates Eagles fans, and oh yeah, that environment.
Yeah.
I thrive in that environment, so it's nice to see that he couldn't do anything at all.
Yeah, I kind of wish they let him finish the game though. That would have. It
would have been nice.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't have been as close. It would have been more fun, but
I mean, the only thing he did screen passes the whole game.
Yeah,
but
to jump over to injuries, kind of. Good news here. No one really left the game.
Seemed good.
AJ got hit kind of rough on
he got hit pretty hard,
but he played. He missed one play.
Yeah,
he came back and got 4 more catches.
Then he
for
played
60
great
yards.
after that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, maybe he needs to get hit a little bit harder next time early. I don't know, but
let's not wish for that.
He got hit. He got hit pretty good, and that was a tough one. I mean, he's trying to catch the ball and he got whacked in the back. So,
yeah,
but luckily he came back out. Hopefully he's okay. What was it? Devontae Smith had a knee during the week.
Yeah.
2 days, Thursday,
great.
Friday, he didn't play.
Phenomenal.
Saturday, he was questionable, I think, and
yeah,
he looked fine on the touchdown.
Played phenomenal,
right across the middle.
Played
Beautiful.
phenomenal. So yeah, no, good stuff. No one really left for injury except for AJ for a couple plays, and he was back. So that's good news. We usually always have to sit in here and talk about a guy or two, who went out and maybe came back, but we didn't really have any.
And
this
it was good because Opeta played well. I mean, Giants were pressuring us pretty good.
Yeah,
I think they were bringing extra guys in though.
Yeah,
a couple extra rushers, and they had Jalen on the run.
Yeah, they did.
They did.
Next thing I want to say, just kind of with the Eagles rooting guy that we talk about, some good stuff that happened. The Saints lost this weekend, didn't they?
The Thursday night game.
Yeah, they lost to the Rams.
Yes.
So that was nice. Yeah,
that was good.
So the Saints lost, so that pick's looking a little bit better.
Yeah.
Dallas lost, so Miami, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Just to give us some more room, but now it's feeling a lot better. We owe a lot of our we owe a lot to Buffalo and Miami right now, man.
It's funny because
keeping us in this.
We have been saying all season we're not getting any help from anybody,
and they finally.
We got some help the last few weeks from the 2 teams that we beat, which was beautiful.
Yeah, appreciate it. Really appreciate it.
Very nice. Yeah.
Niners are losing right now, but I don't think that one matters as much because I don't.
Yeah.
I don't see us getting the first seed, and like I've talked about, I don't think the first seed would really be that beneficial to us.
But again, that's why they play the games, and I think Purdy, when we last left, had 3 interceptions. So
yes, let me pull that
let's
up.
see if he's got 5 or 6 like I was calling for.
Yeah. One thing that's notable is that he has 4.
No way.
One thing
that's what I called for 4. Remember? Yeah.
One thing that's notable is that they do play Washington next, which isn't much of a worry for them, but they do play the Rams in the last week. And at that point, the Rams might be playing for a playoff spot. So that's a whole different game.
It's a division game.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. But
they go.
I'm not expecting much there. Just give me my division. Yeah. Actually, I'm sorry, not even that. Just win this next game.
Right.
Just win the next game in front of you. Worry about the next one the next time.
That's right.
Just win this next game.
Just get the ship righted. Yeah. Get the defensive guys more familiar with each other. Who was wearing a green dot tonight?
Reed Blankenship.
Okay, so Blankenship was wearing that and calling the defenses, so that was good.
Yeah.
The linebackers played well. Maybe we'll have our other ones back next week.
Yeah.
If not, it's great to see some of those guys get the time. Keely Ringo looks like a player. He's one of the youngest defensive players.
He was the youngest
defensive
player to start for the Eagles in franchise history.
And that was last week.
No. He started this week.
Okay.
I don't think.
But that article I read was about last week, so maybe he.
Oh,
played.
You're right.
Maybe
He did start last week. No, he did start last week because Slay was out. Sorry.
Yeah, so that's 2 weeks in a row we started.
Dad, why was
we're not calling him out?
If I can talk on confusion,
I know. Go ahead. I know.
Why was Bradbury in the game at the end of the game?
Yeah.
No, I understand if we're going to do a rotation.
Right.
Ringo basically started the whole game. I'd like to see the snap counts.
Me too.
I saw Ricks in a lot. I saw Job in here and there. Roby, of course, is the nickel, so he was.
I remember you called Roby out for something he made a good play, and you were like,
he got his hand up towards.
I know
end.
He didn't hit it.
He didn't hit it, but I was like, well, maybe he blocked the vision of the wide receiver.
They thought he deflected it on the TV crew called him out for it,
but no, it was good though.
Hey, man, he was there.
But at the end of the game, last week we talked about it. Bradbury, the Seahawks, they went on a 92-yard touchdown drive to beat us, and every single pass on that drive was to Bradbury and the guy he was covering.
Right.
So 92 yards came against Bradbury on the final 92-yard drive last week, including the touchdown. And this week, I see Bradbury out there, and you heard me, and the whole bar heard me. I'm like, why is Bradbury out there?
Yeah.
And The next play was thrown to his guy.
Yes.
I was like,
tight end.
here we go.
Over his head.
And then I'm like, oh, he's still out there. And then the next play was thrown to his guy. Now, the good thing about that one was there was some confusion there. I don't know what happened. He caught the ball with like 15, 16 seconds left, and they couldn't get the ball down until the 4-second mark.
Right.
And I don't know what happened. A ball was taken off the field or something. Like Darren Waller was kind of, I don't know if he was hurt, but it looked like he was trying to get off the field.
Right.
It was really strange. But
well, I don't think he wanted to be hurt.
Yeah, no, you
because
can't,
then he had the 10-second runoff,
runoff,
and he had no timeouts left, and the clock would never stop.
You know,
so he was injured. He kind of got up and gave the ball to somebody else, and they ran over here. And then the next thing you know, I saw him running the ball out to the center or the ref to put it down because
weird.
We know what happened in the playoffs last year.
Yes,
or was last year, year before, I forget. Cowboys,
2 years ago, yeah, with
Cowboys Niners. The ball didn't get given to the right ref who
Yeah.
couldn't set the ball, so the clock ran out.
Yeah.
So they only had that one play left, and of course,
it was strange. And yeah, good pick by
Tyrod
Ringo.
had good 20 minutes back there.
Good
which
interception
was
by
driving me
Ringo.
nuts,
That was
but-
nice to see.
Yeah, it was nice for him to get the pick.
But sorry again. Why was Bradbury on the field?
Yeah.
And I understand, like I said, playing him throughout the game, rotation,
Right.
sure. But end of the game,
Get him out.
Ricks, Job,
They're
sorry,
quicker,
Ringo,
they're faster.
Roby,
Yeah.
please don't put this guy out here at the end of the game. I can't.
Yeah.
I
agree.
Do you got anything else to say?
Not really, no. I'm just very excited that we won the game tonight, and it made Christmas a little bit nicer.
Absolutely.
And, I'd like to say Merry Christmas to everybody out there listening, and hopefully you're with us for the next couple pods in the next couple weeks.
Of course, yep. And then once again, before I say our goodbye, thank you again, Mike. Thank you, Mom.
Beautiful.
We really, dude, it's gorgeous. We
It's
really
beautiful.
do appreciate it. It's lovely.
Vince Papale, baby.
Vince Papale. That's
Invincible.
Right. Invincible. You're a freaking Philadelphia Eagle.
I need to hear a little Ted Nugent now. A little stranglehold.
Philadelphia Eagle.
Ben will love that.
Yeah, I got to watch that movie again. It's been a while. All right, but as always, from all of us here at Our Eagles Therapy Podcast, you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. If you like Our Eagles Therapy Podcast, do us a favor, rate and subscribe wherever you are or get your podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We really appreciate you watching, and we hope you'll comment below. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you hate. If you're from another team, talk some smack. If you're from our team, talk some love, and we'll always respond. We'll always comment. We always like to hear it. If you have any questions you want us to talk about or answer or any topics you think about for us to bring up on the podcast, we'd love to hear it. But from all of us here at Our Eagles Therapy Podcast, I'm Basil.
And I'm Baz.
Go Birds.
And fly, Eagles fly.